your publishing houses, talk to them and say, this is great. Are they going to be accessible to people with print disabilities? And where are your avenues if they aren't? How can you make it accessible and why not? So it's really, you guys can make a huge difference. And thank you for the opportunity to present today. I'm happy to ask and answer any questions probably after or now, I don't care. So thanks. Questions now or later?
Maybe questions later.
Cool. All right.
Okay. Thanks again, Paul.
Thank you.
Thank you. That was a great presentation. It really reminds us, you know, the difference that new technology can make to everybody, and the challenges that sometimes have to be overcome just to bring that technology and to get the benefits of it. The next presenter is Rebecca Syle. Rebecca is the licensing manager for Springer. So she's going to let us know what Springer are doing in regards to eTextbooks. So thanks very much, Rebecca.
Okay. All right. So hi, everyone. As mentioned, I'm Rebecca Syle, and I'm a licensing manager at Springer. So you may be wondering what I'm doing here, because Springer is not really known primarily as a textbook publisher. Springer is not really in the whole course learning space, but we do publish textbooks, and I'm just hoping this presentation today will give you a bit of a different perspective on the whole discussion. I also have to mention that you may have heard of a little merger that was completed a month or so ago. All I can say is that the new company name will be Springer Nature, and will encompass all of Springer, Nature, and most parts of Macmillan. But until the end of this year at least, we'll still be operating separately. So the information here today is just about Springer. Okay, so so Springer has the largest online collection of ebooks, not just in our traditional areas of science, technology, and medicine, but across all disciplines. So right now, on our platform Springer Link, we have just under 200,000 ebooks. This year alone, we're planning to publish 6,750 books, but textbooks make up just 7% of our annual publishing program right now. So what's behind Springer's publishing of textbooks, eTextbooks? Well, firstly, because we are not your traditional textbook publisher, we do not have any of that traditional textbook revenue to protect. So we're not really concerned about making sure each end user pays for their own copy of a textbook. We're not, none of that, nothing about the individual copies. And secondly, we're not really concerned about pushing individual titles for adoption into courses. So what we are concerned about is having textbooks in our collections just to add an extra dimension to those collections. So because most of our ebooks are research level, textbooks are a bit more accessible for students and lecturers. They also drive usage of our ebook collections, and at Springer, we love usage. So having textbooks there, and especially when they are used as prescribed text or recommended reading, they help our libraries achieve return on investment of their ebook collections, and that makes it easier for us to prove that to them. Another slightly more lofty driver behind our textbook publishing is if we do have textbooks available for undergraduates, those are the publishing academics of the future. So if they've experienced Springer textbooks when they're at the start of their careers and they can see the benefits of Springer books, then they're more likely to publish with us in the future. Okay. So I'm just going to touch a little bit on Springer's model just to put it all into context if you do not know. So we treat textbooks exactly the same way that we treat all of our other books. There's nothing different. We don't have a separate higher education department or anything like that. So textbooks are all included in our ebook collections, and all of our ebook collections are one-time purchase for perpetual ownership and access. So once a library has purchased our ebook collections, there is no additional charge for the library ever, and there is no additional charge for any end users at all. So we do have both undergraduate and graduate/advanced textbooks. And well, for us, we think that the good thing about collections is that it allows us to offer each of the titles at a relatively low cost per title. So, for example, the average Springer book, the print list price is over €100 each, but for a medium-sized university in Australia and New Zealand, the collections works out at approximately €20 each. Okay, so the very best thing that we think about Springer ebooks is that they are 100% digital rights management free, no DRM. So of course that means unlimited simultaneous users, unlimited downloads, and for the users, 0 time restrictions and 0 restrictions on printing, saving, and copying. So yes. But we also have other benefits, which are, of course, device agnostic. They are all produced by the same editorial teams that produce our research level books, so you know they are high quality peer-reviewed content. Of course, they all have chapter level DOIs, which can be embedded in your course management systems or used in reading tools like Tallis. And more recently, we have introduced the whole book download feature. So as you can see here, you can download the whole book with just one click. Chapter by chapter download is still available, but we think having the whole book download, especially for textbooks, for a student to download the whole textbook, keep it on their laptop, mobile phone, iPad, is a huge benefit. Okay, so Springer is an online first publisher, first and foremost, so we no longer keep huge warehouses full of printed books ready to be shipped around the globe and all that kind of thing. So everything is published first on our platform, Springer Link. But we recognise that, especially for textbooks, students may want or need a printed copy. So that's where my copy comes into it. So this is a service that we offer to university libraries that have purchased our ebook collections. And what it is that users can go to that books page on Springer Link and from there order their own personal print-on-demand soft cover copy, shipped and delivered to them for just €24.99. And that's a flat rate for all books. So this is just a really cost-effective option, especially for students, and the potential for textbooks is really huge. These are all printed locally in Melbourne, so we're cutting down on the whole environmental impact of the traditional publishing, European publishing thing. And of course, there's no additional work for libraries in this. It's kind of separate from the libraries, but it's just another feature that you can offer. Okay, so right now on Springer Link, we have just under 3,000 different textbooks, and these are the breakdowns per our subject collections. And you can see the vast majority are actually in the mathematics and statistics collection, but the rest are pretty much spread across all of our different subject areas. Just getting a little bit more into the nitty-gritty here. These are the most globally used Springer textbooks for the years 2013 and 2014. So they are from a range of different subject areas. And it's really interesting to note that the top 3 most used textbooks for those years were actually published some time ago. Like 2 of them were published almost 9 years ago now, which is interesting and may point to the long shelf life of eTextbooks and the longevity of their relevance potential. And these are just a sampling of the most popular and most highly used textbooks in Australia and New Zealand for last year. So you can see there is a bit of a range of different subjects, and these both cover undergraduate and graduate/advanced different categories of textbooks. Okay, so this is a anonymous university's part of their usage report for the start of this year. And so, as I mentioned, textbooks make up just 7% of our collections. But at this anonymous university, you can see that textbooks have made up 11% of their usage this year. So I don't know what conclusions you can draw from that, except it may point to the popularity of DRM-free textbooks and their accessibility. Okay, so this example is a nice textbook, which is actually authored by an Australian author, actually a Queensland author. And I'm just trying to point out the new feature, Bookmetrix, which has just been added to Springer Link recently. So now when you go to either a book or a chapter on Springer Link, a little table will appear which shows you the number of citations, mentions on social media, how many readers are reading that book right now, the reviews and the downloads. And so you can actually click through these and go and have a look at the actual citations and the mentions. So for textbooks, it actually has a lot of possibilities for students to make the books or the chapters a bit more of a living entity and a bit more interactive. Okay, so coincidentally, this year we have been trying to raise a bit more of an awareness about the fact that Springer textbooks are included in our collections. So it is actually, we actually get a lot of emails asking for desk copies or inspection copies from lecturers who want to maybe set a Springer text as a textbook, and then they're surprised and somewhat delighted when we tell them your library has actually already purchased this book, so you can access it for free and download it right now from here. So I guess one of the challenges is getting through to the lecturers and letting them know what is actually already available at their library that they can adopt for their course and offer their students, that the students will not have to pay anything for really to access. So this is a bit of a sample flyer that we had. We had a bit of a campaign this year in Adelaide, and we actually handed out these flyers to students during O Week with a bit of a how-to and links to the actual set text that were on their reading list. And it was surprising to see how many students really had no idea that their library had free content that they could use that was actually set for them that year. So and if you guys have any suggestions as to how we can reach more of the end users to let them know about these features, that'll be really appreciated. So about the future, well, Springer's philosophy is that there should be, for the end users, no barriers to access really, as few as possible. So I know at least at Springer, the no DRM thing is going to be staying around. I don't know if MOOCs are the future of course delivery, but of course we're happy for our content to be available as resources in MOOCs because we just want the content to be used. And finally, which I think has been touched on a little bit already, I think the definition of a textbook may be a bit fluid now. So even now we see, we know of some lecturers who have set books, Springer books, as textbooks, which aren't even defined by us as textbooks. So, and why not? Because if they have our collection of books, why not set anything from that collection that they can as a resource for their course? So whether it's one book or parts of many books, this is what they're able to do, and they might as well take advantage of what their library already has. Let me check I didn't forget anything. Getting too carried away and excited. Sorry. No, I think that's it. All right, yeah, so basically, oh, that's right, yes. So if you remove the need for a student to buy one single textbook a year, really, the sky is the limit because you can just set anything that you want, because if the student doesn't have to pay for a textbook, yeah, the sky's the limit. Okay, thank you.
Thanks, Rebecca. That was very interesting, and it's good to see, you know, one of our favourite publishers doing the right thing, DRM free. We love it.
Thank you.